Good morning. We've had some guys competing their asses off in training camp. It's been a great ride so far. We've had some guys come off of injuries and contribute. Got a few players down, but you know what? We understand, hey, the next man is up. It's been a very competitive camp. Guys are having fun, and I'm just enjoying the energy and the competition between both our units. It's been a lot of fun to be a part of, and it's just been fun to watch. So with that said, fellas, any questions to start?
Let's go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, EB, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing, Steve?
Not too bad. Yesterday, Coach Tobe and Coach Madison shared with us that Andy always allows his players to have open dialogue, even more so now with everything going on in the country. Being a former player, how much have you shared with some of the guys of your experiences, not only being a black athlete, but also as a black man on and off the field? And also your thoughts on guys using their platforms to bring awareness to social injustices in this country.
Well, first of all, Coach Reed has been the same ever since I've known him. You know, since playing for him in 1999, he was always that way. He wanted guys to allow guys to let their personality show. He wanted the true man to sit there and shine if he had something on his heart and on his mind. One thing with our players, they've done a hell of a job of just expressing to one another, having open dialogue, and I'm very proud of the fact of what we're doing. It's about time that we start having voter registration. How about kudos to Pat, kudos to Tyron, you know? How about having the back of the organization with Clark, Mark Donovan, also with Veach? You know, it's just a testament to the environment that we have. And like I said, the chemistry here, and you guys have heard me say this before, it's a unique situation because the guys like each other. We may not always agree, but you know what? They find a way to respect one another and come together with a decision that's going to be best for the organization and for us moving forward.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. I was curious about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We know a lot about the team returning so many guys, but when it comes to Clyde, a big obstacle to getting on the field early is pass protection. Do you guys feel confident in where he's at there now within 2 weeks to go into the regular season that it's going to be okay to protect Patton there?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'll say this. Dylan has done a hell of a job, and I tell you what, he has a great room of people to work with, okay? So Clyde is not only receiving some coaching from Dylan, he's also receiving some coaching from the veteran Sherm, who's been helping him out tremendously. And then on top of that, you know, he got a bunch of backs that's played a little while. So young Darrell Williams has been outstanding in helping him with his technique and just teaching him all the calls and the things he should expect versus coverages or just certain things that he's seeing. So am I going to say he's perfect? Nah, he's not perfect, but I've enjoyed watching the progress that he has made each and every day. And then when you got a kid that can explain to you why he made a mistake, that's when you know he's getting it. So he's doing a heck of a job. You know, I know he's going to do everything under the sun to help us to do better than what we need to, but also, too, he understands the importance. If you don't protect that damn quarterback, you can't play.
Let's go to Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, thank you so much, Coach, and glad you're.
What's going on, Darren? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Hopefully, look forward to seeing you again real soon. Kind of following up on what Steve had asked, and then a little bit about what Pete were asking. You know, how has it been on football question first? How has it been trying to, see the players in the live atmospheres in practice and stuff, and then what you're seeing during training camp, knowing that you're not going to get a preseason game, and how you make your decision on who makes the final cut. And then also, of course, looking back, of course, you are a black man, that part is obvious, but there are NFL players who have talked about possibly boycotting the first game of the season. Now, I don't know if the players are going to go to that extent, but if the players decide to take a knee, will you, as an individual, as a Chiefs coach, along with your colleagues, take a knee with them?
So first of all, to answer your question about training camp, our guys have done a heck of a job. It's been a little different due to the times that we're living in with the pandemic and everything. But the thing that our guys have done a heck of a job of is just improvising and adapting. One thing that we've learned here together collectively as a staff is to remain flexible. That's one thing that you're going to have to be when you're coaching with Coach Reed. But also, too, our players have remained flexible, and they've been poised under pressure, and they've adapted to the schedule, and they've caught on, and they've excelled. They've been working their tails off. Like I said, it hasn't been perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. But one thing that we always want to do, we want to strive for perfection in order to achieve excellence. And I think our guys have the focus and the mindset to do it the right way. We got plenty of vets who are guiding us and leading us. Now, we're talking about what's going on in the world. I mean, there's a lot, you know. I'm 51 years old this year. I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot. But here's the thing that I love, that our guys are doing a great job of. There's nothing that gets me more excited than watching what Pat and Tyron have done with the voters registration deal. I mean, that is outstanding. That is huge. That is a huge step in the right direction. We got players donating money in the Black community, making sure that not only that the finances can make a change, but also being there, okay? We got a number of guys who understand the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And I'm gonna say this again, okay? We got a bunch of guys on this team that like each other, that care about one another. We have a great culture, and it starts from the top, okay? It starts with a great owner in Clark Hunt. Okay, and it just trickles down. It trickles down to Mark Donovan, giving guys a voice, okay? It also trickles down to Brett Veach and the things that he does, making sure that these guys are confident in their actions and what they're doing and what they're saying. But also, too, you know, more importantly, it's with Coach Reed, allowing these guys to allow their personalities to show and understanding that regardless of what decisions that we're going to make them together. Those guys are going to take care of that, and we're going to support our players 120% in everything that they do.
We've got 3 hands up. Let's go right down the line. Herbie, Adam, and then Nate. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, always a pleasure. Hope you're well. You mentioned good. You mentioned the COVID environment, and there's 2 questions here. How surprised are you, or how pleased you are that you were able to get to this point where you are 1 day away from wrapping up training camp? And then on wrapping up training camp, what players have jumped out to you and surprised you on offense?
Well, so to go back to the COVID deal, it's been a long off season. It's been a challenging off season. It's been one that, been challenging not only to us here as Kansas City Chiefs, but it's also been challenging to everybody that's experiencing this in this country. And we want to be very sensitive to everybody's issues and what's taking place. Yes, it has been tough. It's been tough with the families, But the thing that I'm proud of is that the organization is finding ways to do it the right way for us, to provide a way. I think what we're doing is a great example for many others to do around the country. And to be here and to have an opportunity to do what we love, I think that's just a blessing, and just the accountability. So far, so good. Everybody has been doing the right thing and making sure that they're staying out of harm's way, because everybody has different issues that they may have to deal with. That just goes to show you the love and the trust that we have from top to bottom, okay? And then just talking about with the players, with training camp, these guys have worked their tails off. I know you guys have heard me yelling and being loud and vocal, yelling all the positive good things and being very supportive. But these guys have worked their tails off, and I'm proud of them. And we're less than 2 weeks away from game day. I couldn't ask, under the circumstances, for guys to come out and do a better job than what they have. Now, we'll continue to work. We're going to continue chopping wood. We're going to continue grinding on these guys, because when it's all said and done with, we want to be at our best when we kick this thing off in less than 2 weeks on Thursday night.
Let's go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Eric, how you doing today?
Doing good, Adam. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, we've heard you yelling once or twice during practice, so don't worry about it. You came through loud and clear. A couple things for you. Just wondering, with all the unusualness of this season, does this felt like camp to you, number one? And number two, I want to go back to something you said about Edwards-Helaire earlier. You said that, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but you said he can tell you at the end of a play maybe something that he did wrong on that particular play. I was wondering if you can give us an example or two of maybe something that where he did that.
So talking about camp, has it felt like camp? Now, it's felt different. It was an adjustment to start with, especially with the ramping up phase. And you guys got to understand, we're creatures of habit. We've done it one way here since I've been here. And then you guys got to understand, every organization primarily that I've worked under comes from this background. And so when you're used to doing it a certain way, sometimes change is hard. And with everything, with the schedule and how it all worked out, it was challenging, not just for the players, but it was challenging for the coaches, making sure we can get the schedules right, making sure that we're keeping our guys involved and they're understanding that, hey, they have to remain flexible with the schedule. So it's been great because it's helped us to grow. It's helped us, just like I said, it's helped us to remain flexible through it all and to learn how to improvise and adjust. As we do know, things happen in life. You got to be able to navigate your way through that course when things ain't just such a straight and narrow. But your next question here about Clyde, the thing that's important, when you're talking to him, because certain times with technique, he'll go in there and not utilize the proper technique. And that's not what I'm talking about. It's more about, hey, understanding, what did the quarterback call? What did Pat tell you? What did the center communicate? What did the defensive front tell you? What did the rotation in the secondary tell you? And so he's starting to see all of that. And that's when you know, okay, you know what? He's starting to get it. I'm watching him have conversations with those guys. I'm hearing the conversation and the answers and the feedback that he's given to me. And the important thing is not only is he talking to me, but I can hear him talking to Sherm and talking to young Darwin and Daryl. And those guys, they got a nice chemistry. And that's the thing that you want. You want those guys having an understanding on how to fix it and how to make it right. It doesn't always have to come from us, okay? And that's the beauty of the environment that we have. We have a great culture. These guys are working their tails off. They understand that, hey, regardless of who's in there, okay, we all got to be accountable, and we all have to know exactly what we're doing and how to do it.
Let's go to Nate Taylor for the last one. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Eric, I have 2 topics for you. You may not know all 32 owners, obviously, but what do you think makes Clark such a model representation for where the league should go in terms of ownership right now, based on the things that have gone on? And then secondly, speaking of the voter registration, if the Chiefs are able to have Arrowhead Stadium be a place for people to vote, what emotions will that invoke in you if you do see that come to fruition on Election Day?
Okay, so you asked the question about Clark. I mean, just look at the history. I mean, hell, one of the original AFL teams. Look at the names of the people that was drafted here. I mean, a lot of those guys came from historical Black colleges. A lot of those guys have represented themselves not only as excellent athletes on the field, but off the field as commendable citizens. And they're in the Hall of Fame as well. So that says a lot, not only, okay, about Clark, but just the family that he's been a part of. And that's one thing that we appreciate. The Hunts understand exactly what has been going on in this world because they've seen it, all right? They've inherited it, all right? And I guarantee you, when Lamar Hunt was alive, bless his soul, during that particular time, I'm sure he experienced a number of things when he first started off with those particular players playing for his NFL team. So that's what Clark has, and Clark has lived through that. And what better person to be a role model? And then as you talked about, trying to get the stadium here for as a place where people can come and vote, that would be just historical. Why? I just remember growing up as a young kid, when I turned 18, there was 2 things I was going to do. Well, a few things. First of all, I had to get a job. I had to go to school. I was going to join the service. But on top of that, my mother told me, your ass is going to vote, okay? You are going to vote because we fought for this right, all right? And how about that? These guys have stood up, okay, and said, hey, let's make this right. Let's make it where everybody can have an opportunity to come to the stadium and vote. I'm proud of the people that we have in this building, but I'm also proud of the people that have provided the light and the way for them so they can come out and be free to be who they are and speak freely to the world about what's going on and making a change.